not have to use that piece. This is the architecture of roads. The idea is that you write everything in Gold. We give you an app generator called RoadGen, and it generates a controller and a set of templates, and your development experience is basically writing your HTML. In fact, a lot of people just go with our generated HTML, but if you're doing a very highly branded consumer app, then you'll probably end up using your familiar HTML, CSS, and JavaScript skills quite a bit. So you write those things. You can write a sync server, a source adapter for doing sync. You don't have to. There's plenty of people. Wikipedia wrote their official app with our stuff, and they didn't do sync. In fact, they were going to do sync, and I said, you know what, as much as I believe in synchronized offline data, it's probably overkill for what you want to do. But they're probably the only example I can cite where it wasn't valuable to do sync. And in fact, because of that, we never really hard sell the sync. Like enterprises use our stuff and we tell them about it, and they might start with roads and they build an app, and then they eventually figure out, oh, it's pretty cool to let users like have their data all the time. So we never hard sell it. People start and use roads, and then eventually they use sync later on. So the internals, we've got this first ever Ruby executor for roads. By the way, we're in the Nokia building, so Nokia, well, Symbian and Nokia sponsored a third-party Ruby, so there actually is for Symbian phones. There's another Ruby called Pragmaticon. Unfortunately, it didn't predate us, or we wouldn't have had to write it. It would have been great if they had. We have this ORM called Active, similar to Active Record, called ROM. And then we have this sync client. So the key thing is, if you are developers, is this ORM lets you have this very simple, we did sync primarily so that users could have their data when they were offline, but we ended up with this unanticipated benefit, which is the sync just keeps your data local, so you don't do any programming to go and get access to your data. You don't like pull stuff down over the wire of HTTP and parse it out. It's just there. You have this beautiful ORM that just lets you refer to objects and attributes. So some customers, OpenHealth actually built a mobile Sugar CRM. They're actually negotiating with Sugar CRM to be Sugar CRM's official mobile app. McKesson's using it for a home healthcare point of care. That's a very LBS-centric app. They wrote it in 2 weeks. It's very, very cool. I actually, they did it with just like proximity ordered stuff, and they didn't use their native mapping, which I thought was like a crying shame. So I said, give me access to your source repository, and the elves will come in and add it. And so we did that. So it's actually a really nice example of LBS systems using the native mapping that iPhone ships with. Other CRM vendors, Infusionsoft. There's a bunch of, there's this app called TrackR that's mobilized pivotal tracker that actually just hit the App Store last week. That's for iPhone and Android. Wikipedia, another very LBS app done by John Deere. That they have this product called AgSoft that tells people to where to put the fertilizer. They did that with our stuff. So a month ago today, we launched the first and only development as a service for mobile. If you are developers, this is a great free way to try roads. You go to roadhub.com and sign up, and you can write your app. We give you a web-based IDE. You can write your app all on the web. We let you do builds for every single OS there, so you don't even have to install anything. Like, we have it all installed, and you can build for Android, Windows Mobile, BlackBerry, and iPhone. For iPhone, we do this cute thing where we can't legally build online, so we give you this thing. It seems like it builds online, but it actually gives you a tiny little stub app, and it actually builds locally. This is one of the cooler features we have. But you do actually have to install an iPhone SDK locally. We like to keep Apple happy. It's very important to our business. So, and we also give you this hosted sync server. So if you choose to use sync, you don't have to do sync. We give you this hosted sync server. And then we also let you do collaboration. I really like the collaboration feature. Those of you that are here, if you start using it and you have problems, write to me. I'm adam@roamable.com. Make me a collaborator on your app, and I can actually help you finish your app. I end up doing a lot of that with people, although I doubt you'll really need the help. So, summary, why Roamable? Write it once and it works on all smartphones. We also believe that declarative tag-based approach, basically HTML development, is much more efficient, much faster. In fact, Wikipedia was a good data point because they had an Objective-C app. They threw it away. They rewrote it in Roads, and it was 1/5 the code. Identical functionality, 1/5 the code. Same thing with Nationwide. They did a similar thing. That seems to be roughly the reasonably repeatable. It's almost always 1/5 the code. We believe that native client against local data is much better than mobile web apps, and we have this hosted development site. Time for questions? Yeah.
To what extent can ROS support programmatic access to the camera, the voice unit, Wi-Fi, and mobile devices?
Camera, yes. GPS, PIN contacts, native mapping. So Wi-Fi, what kinds of things do you want to do there?
If we can't talk on cellular, can you make it talk here?
Oh yeah, no. It's all transparent to us. Like it's all the networking is below us, so we don't see that part.
And can you energize the voice section?
We do audio play. Audio capture is set for the 1.4 release, which should ship early next month. Oh, okay, thank you.